What is going on, guys? Bruin Steel here. Welcome back to another WWE broadcast. I'm your host, Bruin Steel, and I'm joined by Canadian Yorker. And today we are recapping the Friday Night Smackdown that took place March 28th, 2025, and it took place in the O2 in London, England. I love these overseas shows. Canadian Yorker, how's it going tonight?
It is going awesome tonight. It's going well. So far, the week has gone. It started off really well, really strong. Can't complain. And wow, it's in London. I gotta say, these European crowds, they are so lively. They're so full of energy. They love the wrestling, the wrestling events. They show so much passion. That's something we're missing here. In we're missing this in the U.S. We're missing the passion, the crowds. We're really missing this, man. We're too reserved. We gotta let ourselves go in these and get rowdy and just show our passion for WWE. So
All right.
can't complain.
All right. All right, so let's get started. The show opens up with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, making his entrance. He soaks in some chants for a long beat and asks London what they want to talk about. He said he'll be fighting John Cena at WrestleMania 41 as he tries to break the record and win number 17. But that is WrestleMania, and in just a few nights he'll be face to face with Cena in this very same arena. Uh, he gets interrupted by Randy Orton. Randy Orton said he talks about how he's known Cody for a long time and he remembers when he was just breaking into the business and busting his ass harder than excuse me harder than anybody else, and he wasn't exactly happy. Rhodes was frustrated, but he was smart enough to know he needed to grow and he couldn't get what he needed in the WWE locker room, so he left. And it took some big ass balls to leave and do what he did. He changed the business single handedly, and everyone in the back knows it and appreciate him for it. But they all know he would come back one day. He talks about Cody's Hell in a Cell against Seth Rollins, starting with a particular torn pec and ending it with a completely torn pec and turning all kinds of colors. He talks about beating Roman Reigns to finish the story, but there's always another story, isn't there? Randy said it's a privilege to sit back and watch Rhodes take control of his legacy and business is booming, and it's mostly because of him. He said he loves Cody and respects him, but now it's time for WrestleMania, and he guarantees he's going to kick Kevin Owens so hard in the head that he can feel it already. He knows that Cody is going to leave WrestleMania as the champ after beating the Holy Hell out of John Cena all the way up and down the Vegas Strip. But after all the smoke clears and dust settle, there's gonna come a time when Randy is going to want to go after a 15th title of his own. But he won't kick Cody in the balls like a coward. He's gonna look him into the eyes because he loves and respects him and considers him an equal, and he's gonna tell him that he's coming for the title. They get interrupted by Drew McIntyre. This is interesting. Drew McIntyre having some history with Randy Orton back in 2020. Drew McIntyre said, "This is wonderful. A couple Nebo babies having a love fest in the middle of the ring, and it makes him sick." He asked Randy what exactly he's done to deserve a title match after being on the show for months and months and months. So get to the back of the line, Sunshine. Everyone should have listened to him about John Cena, and he proved them right by kicking Cody in the balls. WrestleMania should be UK's only world champion against Cody, but it's not because of a guy liner wearing Timo Undertaker, Damian Priest. He said it's not going to be Randy that takes the title from Cody if he gets through Cena. It's going to be Drew McIntyre. Orton tells them to cut the bullshit, and McIntyre says KO might actually have a point. The voices that talk to Randy know him really well, and they know he's thinking, God, my God, Randy looks great, absolute jacked on the outside. On the inside, he knows that back is hanging by a thread, and he promokes. He breaks it. As for Cody, he lunges on an attack. Cody ducks. Randy goes for RKO, but Drew bails away. So wow, Drew, Cody, and Randy. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Obviously, there's history between Drew, Cody, Drew, and Randy, especially Drew and Cody. That dates back to rivalry back in 2020 over the WWE Championship. So, yeah, Canadian Yorker, how do you feel? What's your thoughts on the opening segment with Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Drew McIntyre?
Um, yeah, Cody Rhodes is getting those peppers from Randy to win at WrestleMania, so Randy can face Cody at WrestleMania next year. That will be a really good WrestleMania. It would feel more legitimate. Um, But I mean, with Drew and McIntyre coming out, we both know just how much Drew has put his into the industry, how he's formed such great matches. He won at WrestleMania last year, and then he lost thanks to CM Punk screwing him over, and and Damian Priest winning it. And Drew McIntyre has his own business he's dealing with with Damian Priest. So Drew should be a heel, but he's still acting like a tweener guy. For Randy Orton, we know Randy Orton definitely deserves to get another title shot. He definitely deserves to win at the WWE Championship to get his 15th title. And he is closing in. If he does get his 15th title, he would be closing in on on beating Ric Flair's record. He would be closing in on basically if he wins his 15th title, then he would also be able. Um, he would be closing in on John Cena's record if John Cena beats Ric Flair's record. If he stays longer, so never know. Randy Orton could be the guy to beat John Cena's record with that going forward. Uh, with Cody, you know, I think Cody, definitely has what it takes to win at WrestleMania, but it's going to be a hard fought match, especially since he's going against a different type of John Cena. It was the same John Cena, but this John Cena is a dangerous John Cena. So this man will do whatever it takes to win at WrestleMania. So Cody definitely has to watch his back.
All right, so moving on to the first match of this Friday Night SmackDown. We got a tag team championship match. We got Pretty Deadly, Enton Prince and Kit Wilson versus the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. Excuse me. Dawkins and Wilson to start. Angelo lighting him up with punches in the corner, but Prince lands a kick from the apron and makes the tag. Ford runs in and eats double arm drags Dawkins off the ropes. Kit with DDT and he falls to the floor. Dawkins sends Wilson in for a tag with a kick. Catapult for a near fall. Prince legal. Ford tags in. Frog splash countered with a crucifix pin. No, Angelo blind tag. Assistant spinebuster. Kit breaks it up pretty deadly. Put a run together. Neck breaker. Heart attack. Montez breaks it up. Dawkins back body drops Wilson over the ropes. Catches him on the way back. Tags it forward. They hit the Blackbuster Doomsday device on Kit Wilson. The Street Profits retained the WWE Tag Team Championship against Pretty Deadly by pinfall. So, Street Profits was their first title defense against Pretty Deadly. The Street Profits defeating the Pretty Deadly by pinfall. It was an amazing match, but it's really weird because I actually thought the Street Profits turned heel. It seems like the case, but then now it looks like they're just gonna stay as a babyface. I'm not sure about that. They had a heel turn promo, but now it's saying that they never turned heel, so it's all confused. It's so confusing with the Street Profits because when they won the championship, they had a pop. They had a pop, but they did have a heel turn promo. But right now, it's saying that they're a babyface. It's like they never turned heel or something. So it's really, really confusing. And I think Pretty Deadly's gonna turn face soon as well. They're tweeners right now. So, but what are your thoughts on the Street Profits defeating Pretty Deadly by pitfall to retain their tag team championship?
I got to say congratulations to the Street Profits for retaining their title against Pretty Deadly. And I mean, Pretty Deadly is, you know, I think it's good that the Street Profits are getting a pop and getting the recognition that they deserve because it's been 4 long years since they have won a championship, and we haven't really seen them been dominant as much as they should be. That they've just been struggling so much, and we thought at one point that the Street Profits are going to just disband because they're not going to be they're becoming irrelevant. But they finally managed to break that glass ceiling and they overcame the obstacles that were in front of them. They're now the champions. And so it's great to see Street Profits because, retain themselves as champions, just like our favorite group over there on Raw, the War Raiders. They also still the champions over there. of the Street Profits. It's been 4 long years, a long, long time. It's been a while since they've been champions. So it's great to see them be champions and just be beating the tag teams, making the tag team division more relevant again. The other thing with Pretty Deadly, um, I think it's definitely a turn for Pretty Deadly to turn themselves around and make themselves be the great group that they or just see. Let's see how they are as a face. Let's see how they are as a face team. I like this version of Street Profits. I think they should definitely stay heel. They can be like you can love to hate them and hate to love them. They can be a great heel team. They can be a great face team. So they can stay as a sort of a tween in between heel and face. But definitely, people, I think they should definitely be a heel because that's what they are. And so it's really interesting to see them as that way. So let's continue having them be the heel group that they are.
All right, so moving on to the next match, we got a women's tag team match. We got Canna Chance and Kaden Carter. Where the hell have you been, Carter and Chance? Versus the new retarded, which is retarded. I don't know why they're doing it. Versus Elba Fire and Pimper Divins. They're known as the Secret Hervis. What the fuck kind of name is that? Elba Fire and Chance to start. Soon Carter tags in, double teams in the near fall, quick tag, action to the floor, Niven with a big senton. Caden gets elbowed down on the ropes in with a kick, slingshot turning leg drop, cover for two, malfunction at the junction. Pimper accidentally hits a senton and elbow, but manages to block Caden. Carter comes over, Samoan drop, handstand flash off Caden's shoulder, but Frey breaks it up. Carter sends Elba to the floor, splash dives on her, back inside super kick for Pimper, and of course, the bitch runs interference. Niven shoves Caden into Caden, and because of the stupid bullshit interference, like always, the service, her this, whatever stupid name it is, defeats Chance and Carter. They deserve better, man. I'm not gonna say shit. I'm not gonna say anything else because their group is absolute trash. So what are your thoughts on Chance and Carter losing? I'm not going to even acknowledge Elba Fire and Pimper Nivens or whatever their stupid retarded name is. And Elba Fire, I'm really disappointed in you. I looked up to you. I love you. I said great things about you, but you got to look in the mirror sometimes. And I'm wondering what's going through your head. I'm just like, why would you team up with these two bums? Like, what is your thinking going on, Elba? I mean, I loved you and all, but man, that has to be the biggest mistake you have ever made, teaming up with Chelsea and Pimper. Like, look at yourself in the mirror. Tell me what you see. It's like you're a monster now. What are your thoughts on Chance and Carter losing?
It's unfortunate that Chance and Carter have lost to Piper and Evans and Alba Fire, which is, yeah, it is a weird combination. I agree with you that it is a weird combination seeing Alba Fire with Piper and Evans, but I prefer Isla Dawn. I wish Isla Dawn was still back in WWE because they definitely made an interesting tag team. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn coming together and being that group that they were just very interesting because they were interesting mix going against uh, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. But now that Alba Fire has joined them, it just looks weird and it just really looks inconsistent with Alba Fire's character. But I don't know. Alba Fire and Piper Niven are both from the UK, so they have that connection going for them. But as for Chance and Carter, man, they have to become more relevant, and I would love to see that. I would love to see that because Chance and Carter did beat Piper Nivens and Chelsea Green to get the tag team titles, and they did do that. But I would like to see them get the chance to win the tag team titles again because they have the best teamwork out of all the tag teams I've seen. They have the best teamwork going for them. They almost beat Damage Control when they had when they had the titles, but they lost. Um, that's when Damage Control was a heel group, but they were really good as tag team champions, and I would love to see them be the tag team champions again for Chance and Carter. I know. I think I mentioned in a previous video that we did on Wrestling Bros. Or I think someone's mentioned Chance or Carter was injured or something along those lines. So that's why we haven't really seen them active as much as they should be. The other thing for Hyper Evans and Isla Dawn, it's Alba Fire. It's like maybe we might see something happen. What if Alba Fire and Piper Nivens turn heel on Chelsea Green and force her to become a face? We might see that happen. I don't know, but maybe I think that we could see something later on down the line with Piper Nivens turning heel on Chelsea Green. Would that
No,
happen?
no one wants to see a fucking babyface Chelsea. No, thank you.
I don't know. We'll have to see what's going to happen, but it will be interesting.
Yeah, it is. All right, so moving on to the next match, we got a United States Championship match. We got Braun Strowman and LA Knight fighting for the title. LA Knight defending it against, I'll say, one of his biggest tests. Strowman using his strength early, throwing Strowman down. Side headlock from the champion, land on his feet on the suplex attempt. Big right hands right at the monster's jaw. Pump kick off the ropes, and he runs right into a hip toss. Braun to the floor. LA puts him into the announce table with a few kicks, but gets bowled over by a big boot. Knight ducks punches and throws jacks of his own, turning. Strowman cuts him off with a hip, scoops him up, but LA floats over and puts him into the corner and lands a huge back suplex, calling for it. People's elbows connect, cover for two. The Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu attacks Braun Strowman from nowhere, leaving the referee no choice, ending in a disqualification. That piece of shit Jacob Fatu always fucking ruining a good match, man. I kind of had a feeling that Jacob was going to get involved in this. Braun Strowman defeating LA Knight by disqualification. Fatu presses his attack on Strowman, clearing Knight out. LA returns and eats a pop-up Samoan drop, and he's fired up. OD to Ricochet, a second one, a third, double jump moonsault. So yeah, Jacob Fatu, I guess, is pissed. He's butthurt. He's having issues with Solo. Yeah, of course that guy is gonna interfere. So a match ruined. Braun Strowman defeating LA Knight by disqualification because of a Jacob Fatu attacking Braun Strowman. So what are your thoughts on Braun Strowman defeating LA Knight by disqualification?
I could kind of see after what happened last week on Smackdown. I mean, I just got the idea that Jacob, this is going to be a three way right here. We're going to have Fatu, Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman versus LA Knight for the U.S. Championship title. So I don't really see Jacob Fatu going out of his way, because the reason why Jacob Fatu got interfered in this match is because he lost because Solo Sikoa interfered in his match against Braun Strowman last week. That's why Braun Strowman won, and now he's challenging LA Knight for the United States Championship. So I kind of see the reason why Jacob Fatu would interfere in this match and make LA Knight lose against Braun Strowman. So I kind of see that, because Jacob Fatu. Let's not forget, Jacob Fatu, when he first came in, this man single-handedly destroyed uh, the the tag team that he faced with Tamatanga. I'm forgetting the name. He faced against the Riot and single-handedly destroyed both of them and won the tag team titles for both of them. We know. I see Jacob Fatu definitely has the potential. He has it to win to win championships, and at he can win the United States Championship. He can win the World Heavyweight Championship, and one day he will win the WWE Championship. One day it will happen. So he can even win the Intercontinental title. That could definitely happen. He has a potential to do it. So I wouldn't. I'm not counting Jacob Fatu out of out of the you know out of being one of the people that can win the uh, the U.S. title at WrestleMania. That's definitely going to happen. Braun Strowman can definitely do it too. He can definitely win the U.S. title as well. LA Knight, it's going to be a tough road for him. He has both his hands full with Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman at WrestleMania. man, it's gonna be a really tough. It's gonna be really tough for LA Knight to win. But LA Knight can definitely pull it off. But it's gonna be a really tough night for him.
All right, so moving on to the next match, we got Mi Chan going one-on-one with Charlotte Flair. Mi Chan made her entrance, but then Naomi attacked her, but then got saved by Jade Cargill, making Naomi to run. So that leads to the Charlotte Flair and Mi Chan one-on-one match. Mi Chan still game to complete. Charlotte blaster with a boot. Michan with forearm, step up tornado DDT connects, cover for two. Soul food block, back suplex connects, whip reverse flare, flip kick, and the queen goes down. Sidestep the cannonball in the corner. Giant step, Charlotte up in the corner. Michan cuts her off, gets under her, linger bomb. Pellet kick Mia off the ropes with a knee, cover for two. Michan starting to feel it. Waist lock back elbow to break, and big chop follow. Michan sidesteps the boot and drops her with a back suplex. Soul Food block again, float over a back suplex. This time Soul Food connects. Flair gets a foot on the ropes. Charlotte bails, but Michan follows after. Kick misses and Michan foot goes into the steel. Flair trips her up on the apron, step over, toenail knee, drop spinning toenail into figure four leg rock, riding back. Michan taps out. Charlotte Flair defeats Michan by submission with the figure eight. And I just gotta say that figure eight by Charlotte Flair is deadly. And obviously Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton. I'm excited for it. I get to cheer blondes, but I have to only choose one. So honestly, I'll share my own opinion. I can't wait to make my prediction for this match when we do our WrestleMania prediction. So yeah, let's go. So yeah, what are your thoughts on Charlotte Flair defeating Michan by submission?
Uh, I was gonna say it would be a tall order for Michin to win against Charlotte Flair. She can. I mean, it's Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte Flair is one of the most technical wrestlers on the WWE Women's roster. So Michin definitely is. It's gonna be a tough win for tough match for Michin to win against Charlotte Flair. Um, I mean, it's crazy that Michin got attacked by Naomi, out of all people. Um, I can't see that happening, but I definitely think she probably Naomi's going crazy, attacking everybody, and it's just that's another thing for another day. But yeah, Michin is losing to Naomi was unfortunate. She should be you know, getting a chance to win some matches, but she is on a losing streak. So hopefully she gets a chance to turn it around. As for Charlotte Flair, it's another win in her book. And, just her proving why she definitely deserves the chance to win at WrestleMania and beat her father's record, which would be amazing for Charlotte Flair. And that would be a great honor for Charlotte Flair to win her championship. Um, Here's the thing, though. Charlotte Flair is the more experienced wrestler for going against Tiffany Stratton, and Tiffany Stratton doesn't really have the same level of. I'm gonna say that Tiffany Stratton doesn't have the same experience as Charlotte Flair, and I think I saw something somewhere where I saw that Charlotte Flair just actually out promoed Tiffany Stratton, and Tiffany Stratton didn't really have anything to make a good comeback. So man, it just seems like Tiffany Stratton is really outgunned in this manner. She's definitely going to have her hands full at WrestleMania against Charlotte Flair, and this will be her first title defense against her. So she's going against a very experienced person, a wrestler, female wrestler here, and she's definitely going to have her hands full.
All right, so moving on to the next match, we got a 2020 rivalry renewed match. We got Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton in a one-on-one match. I was surprised that they actually booked this match 2020 all over again, but this time Randy as the face and Drew McIntyre as the heel. Collar and elbow struggling around the ring. Shut off, shoulder block, kick to the midsection. McIntyre takes him into the corner for mountain punches, but Orton slips out and trips him up. mountain punches of his own. Randy pulls Rue into the turnbuckles, clearing the announce desk, but Orton counters and hits the back suplex into the announce table. Uh, Randy making a comeback. Snap, scoop, power slam connects. Drew hangs Orton's neck over the rope on a comeback attempt, but Randy catches him with the hanging DDT. Kevin Owens running interference, distracting Orton. Drew McIntyre taking advantage. Drew McIntyre hits the Claymore off of Kevin Owens' distraction. Drew McIntyre defeats Randy Orton by pinfall. Post match, KO takes Orton to the floor and gets him on the announce desk for a pile driver, but Randy slips out and trips him to the desk. Looking for the punt, Owens bails to the crowd and runs away. So, 2020 match renewed. Drew McIntyre once again gets the better of Randy Orton. Drew McIntyre defeats Randy Orton by pinfall. These two guys faced off against each other in that Survivor Series War Games match as well, but there wasn't really a lot of face to face. There was that one stare down. But man, Drew McIntyre winning with a Claymore to beat Randy Orton. Kevin Owens running interference. Man, chaos. What are your thoughts on Drew McIntyre defeating Randy Orton? How are you feeling about this 2020 rivalry renewed?
I think it's good. It makes it interesting. It's been what 4 years now. Actually, it's now 5 years. It's 2025. 5 years or 5 years since they faced each other, and it's really interesting to see that they're facing each other once more after 5 years. That's been a long time.
Well, they faced
Um,
each
I,
other inside that War Games match, but But
yeah,
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 they faced off against each other multiple times for the WWE Championship during that COVID year.
yeah. They did. They did. They did. They did do that. I will say that it's unfortunate that Randy Orton lost against Drew McIntyre because he could definitely get a win against Drew McIntyre, and it would be a feather in his cap, for him to be able to get a win against Drew McIntyre. But he did lose because of Kevin Owens' interference, and that was unfortunate. But it is what it is. I guess Randy's just gonna take it, but he right now he has to focus on his match with Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens definitely is coming for him at WrestleMania, and he has his hands full right now. I'm surprised that Damian Priest did not get involved in the match with Randy versus in this match, because that would have made things a little bit more interesting. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to see what is Drew's response going to be to Damian Priest coming out and facing him at WrestleMania, which is going to be interesting. Um, it's great to see Drew get a win against Randy. I think that's great, and I would love to see Drew McIntyre get the win at WrestleMania against Damian Priest.
All right, so moving on to the next match, we got Jimmy Uso going one on one with The Miz. So The Miz and Jimmy Uso with a one on one match. Collar and elbow into the corner. Uso with chops. Miz shoves him and charges in. Jimmy with a double leg into a mounted punches and lateral. Chops into the corner, up and over in the corner. Uso with a uppercut, whip reverse, big knee lift. Basement boot from the A-Lester clawing at Jimmy's face in the ropes. Running boot connects. Clothesline sends Miz to the floor. Jimmy goes for a dive. The A-Lester steps aside, so Uso pops down and clobbers him over the Timekeeper's barricade. Strike rush from Jimmy Uso sets up a Samoan drop, charging in, back body drop to the apron, but he's quickly with a right hand up and over. Miz ducks a lateral and hits a ripcord lateral. Full Nelson, Uso drops under, trading near falls. The A-Lester snaps off his basement DDT. Miz laying chest kicks in. Jimmy ducks the Finale. Enzo connects, but A-Lister comes off the ropes with a busted knee. No good. Austin clothesline connects. Miz lines him up. Springboard. Super kick cuts it down. Uso on top. Jimmy Uso with the diving splash on the Miz to win the match. Jimmy Uso with a huge win over the Miz by pinfall. Jimmy Uso defeats the Miz by pinfall. Post match, Uso grabs the commentary headset and calls Gunther out for Monday. We're gonna have Jimmy Uso and Gunther for Monday. So yeah, what are your thoughts on Jimmy defeating the Miz by pinfall?
That's a great win for Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso needs these single matches wins, man. I don't want to see the Usos get back together just yet. I want to see Jimmy Uso go for his singles championship. Let's see Jimmy Uso do what Jay Uso did. Let's see Jimmy Uso win win a title on SmackDown for for get the U.S. title or get the Intercontinental Championship. Let's see him do that. I would love to see Jimmy Uso do that. If Jimmy Uso is going against Bron Breaker for the let's see that match. Let's see him face Gunther and beat Gunther. That would be great for Jimmy to see that happen. I think Jimmy needs more of these experience in these matches. He needs to get a title shot too. No, for the Miz, I think the Miz has done it all. It's unfortunate that he lost to Jimmy Uso. It would be great to see more of a heel Miz. Um, so let's see if Miz feud with somebody. I want to see the Miz go after R-Truth again. So let's you
Oh
never know
God,
what's.
no. All right. So moving on. We are finally at the main event, which is a contract signing. But before I get to that, Damian Priest attacking Drew McIntyre in the parking lot was hilarious to watch. Um, Damian Priest hitting the South of Heaven on Drew McIntyre for the windshield of the car. Damian Priest tells he's done for now and tells Dress to rest in peace, jackass. So Drew McIntyre was left lying on the windshield of the car, complaining about glass in his eye. So yeah, David Priest, South of Heaven on Drew through the windshield of a car. So yeah, that was like crazy to see. We see CM Punk laughing at Drew when he passes by, and we are here at the main event, which is a contract signing. Um, Nick Aldis is in the ring to press sign over the contract for the triple threat match between CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. Roman making his entrance. Roman appreciates the crowd singing his name and chanting OTC for him before asking London to acknowledge him, which they do with some enthusiasm. He grooves a little to the crowd singing his name before taking a seat and telling them it's beautiful how they sing to their tribal chief. He said he came here for two reasons. One, to be acknowledged. Check. And two, to sign the contract where he does. He gets interrupted by Seth Rollins. He stands right next to Roman and holds the microphone out to pick up the crowd singing his song, and he has a Nick Lack cackle about it. He agrees that they have beautiful singing voices, and he doesn't know why Roman is such a hurry to leave. They have such history here. They landed on the roof with a helicopter and put the Undertaker through a table. All things considered, he thinks they accomplished their mission. Roman cuts him off and says, "We died a long time ago, and he's been doing all the work to make this place what it is today and take WWE to the next level and on to today, making it better than they found it." Rollins tells him his me mindset makes him keep screwing him. He let CM Punk into the garden, and he could have cut his head off at War Game, but he shook his hand. But now Seth Rollins is left to do what he always do, clean up his mess again. Rollins signs the contract. CM Punk enters. He says, CM Punk makes his entrance and he said he has come here to chew bubblegum and sign the contract. And of course, he's out on the bubblegum. He sits down and promptly opens the contract and looks over it. Roman asks if he needs a highlighter and tells them to go to the page 4. This is TV today, Junior. Let's go. He asks Paul Heyman to wise him up. Paul Heyman goes over and said it's in there. He's going on last. It's the main event. He gets his dream to main event WrestleMania, and he kisses Punk on the head. Rollins throws a fist about it because Punk doesn't deserve it. He goes off on how main eventing WrestleMania is scarred, and it means more to him than anyone. Punk stands up and wipes a tear from his eyes and thanks London and Chicago and Louisville, Kentucky, and the fans in general, as corny as it sounds, who stood by him and chanted his name for 10 long years. Reigns says the only person Punk should be thanking is him. It's because of him that he's the main event. Punk considers his demand for a long beat, gets on one knee, a smirk plays across his face as he thanks his tribal chief, the head of the table. The big dog, he thanks Roman for allowing him, a kid from Chicago, to be graced by his presence and to stand in his ring, and he'll see him in the main event for WrestleMania. Punk signs the contract while Seth looks like he's about to erupt. He thanks Reigns again and says that the favor he owed before, that's the favor he owed before he drops the mic. So wow, CM Punk is main eventing WrestleMania and Seth Rollins is pissed off. So what are your thoughts on the contract signing?
Uh, wow. This is we finally have all three of these men in the ring at WrestleMania. Um, wow, so much history between all of them. More so between CM Punk and Seth Rollins, as well as Roman and Seth Rollins, but not so much between Roman and CM Punk. I don't really see the history there. Um, but all three men don't really like each other. I think it was, and it's just admitted. CM Punk laughing at Drew McIntyre because of what happened to him with Damian Priest. That probably made CM Punk's day. Um, I'm just gonna say that you know Seth Rollins definitely has a reason to be really upset about CM Punk getting the chance to main event WrestleMania because CM Punk just came back last year, and so much has happened in the past year. Um, Seth Rollins definitely feels that CM Punk absolutely does not deserve to get the chance to make the main event WrestleMania, and so maybe it should be Seth Rollins that should main event WrestleMania. And I think this is going to push Seth Rollins further past down the edge or off the edge, and Seth Rollins is going to completely turn heel and against CM Punk and Roman Reigns. I'm pretty sure he's already now a heel right now. He's just people just love him so much that he's not a heel. Um, so there's just a lot going on there. As for Roman Reigns, man, after this WrestleMania, what is going to be Roman Reigns' next step? Because yeah, he has his hands full. He cannot focus on getting the WWE title back against Cody Rhodes, and he can't focus on The Rock because he's so busy with CM Punk and Seth Rollins. So it's really tough for him. And the Usos are doing their own thing. So it's just tough to be there. So I mean, there's a lot of things going on, and I would say Paul Heyman has definitely been kind of shady. He's been the wise man, but now he has two guys that he had as former wise men. There's a lot of things going on there with that. So there's it's just a wild west, and we are only about 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. So many things, anything could happen. It's just going to be a wild, wild ride from now until WrestleMania.
All right, so that would do it for Friday Night Smackdown. My name is Bruin Still, this is New Yorker, and let's go to our grading of the show. I like this show, so I'm gonna give it a minus. How about you?
I'm giving it an A. Definitely could. There's a couple of things that could have been better, but I think it was a great show. It's still a great show, despite the fact.
All right, so that will do it for Friday Night Smackdown. Thank you guys for watching this broadcast. My name is Bruin Still, the Skinny Yorker. If you haven't done so, like, subscribe, check out Canadian Yorker's YouTube channel. Link will be in the description, as well as their WWE Wrestling Bros channel. That link will also be in the description. But yeah, it is the road to WrestleMania 41. I can't wait. 2 weeks, man, 2 weeks. So I can't wait to do predictions for that. But anyways, we will see you guys this week. I don't know what day. I think Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. We'll see you guys in the next broadcast, which is gonna be Monday Night Raw. But anyways, Bruin's still here, Canadian Yorker. We're signing off for the night, and we'll see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest
Yep.
of your night. See you guys later.
Enjoy the rest of your night.